Hi, and welcome to Positive Parenting. My name is Irene Attia, and I'm a Christian counsellor. Today in Positive Parenting, we're going to talk about how we encourage independence. Some of the frustrations that parents of children have, particularly younger children, is that they sometimes feel like they're doing everything for their child, even things that they know that their child can do independently. Independence is one of the fundamental things that a child needs to learn as they grow. They need to know how to do things for themselves. In fact, one of the things that a lot of childcare assess in young children is what are known as self-care skills, the ability to take care of themselves and to manage tasks that are age appropriate for the child. However, there are a few things that tend to happen in this area. Sometimes our expectations of our children are far greater than what they can actually achieve. For example, expecting a 2-year-old to tie their shoelaces is probably unreasonable, unless that 2-year-old has some fantastic fine motor skills. Alternatively, expecting a 6-year-old to not be able to eat their breakfast and me having to feed them is probably also as unreasonable, because it would be safe to say that most 6-year-olds have the ability to hold a spoon and feed themselves. So it's really important that before I enter into this path of helping my child achieve independence, that I'm aware of what my child can and can't do, what his and her abilities are, rather than enforcing on them things that I believe that they can or can't do, where in reality it may be beyond their natural developmental stage. There are a few techniques though that we can use to help children become more independent. And today I want to discuss with you a few of these tools. One of them is called Ask, Say, Do. It's a very simple tool. It's about a way of asking children to do things that we know that they can do for themselves. Let's say I want to help my child learn how to dress himself. And I know that there are aspects of this that are difficult for him and there are aspects that are easier for him. For example, I know that he can put on his shirt, but he struggles with doing up the buttons because of his age. The first part of this method is to simply ask. Simply ask the child, what is the first step here? What do you think you need to do first? And he may come back and say, well, I need to take off my shirt. And I say, great, so you need to take off your shirt. Show me how you can do that. Do just that part for me and I'll help you with the rest. And then the third part is the child actually does it. They actually take off their shirt. And what do? My response has to be to praise and affirm that effort. Even though that's not my end goal is for him to completely dress himself. But for him to have taken that first step is a first step towards that end goal. And I need to recognize it. And I need to make sure that those things that he can do, he does. And so that when he gets to the part where he now needs to put on his shirt, I acknowledge the fact that he has difficulty in part of it. So I may say something like, I can see that it's hard for you to do up the buttons. How about I do the buttons for you once you've got the shirt on? And encouraging him and praising him along the way. Ask, Say, Do is one of those simple tools that parents can use to help their children learn simple things and start on that path of independence. Another thing that many parents use, but is often misused, are reward charts. Now, reward charts have different views, different people have different views of reward charts. Some people view reward charts are fantastic things that allow them to provide their children with materialistic gifts at an end of a process where they show that they've actually done something well. But actually, the most effective form of a reward chart is where I reward my child in a way that they need, that meets their need. So by spending quality time with me. So a reward chart can help a child achieve independence. A reward chart is a very simple thing to do. It needs to include 2 or 3 things that I want to help my child achieve every day. For example, let's say our daily routine or our morning routine is that my child wakes up in the morning and I expect that they can brush their teeth, have their breakfast and get dressed. These are 3 simple things and natural expectations of a child, as long as we're not talking about a child who's not yet developmentally ready for those things. So I'd simply put them up on the chart, and each day I'd have those 3 things up there, and I would place a star or a sticker or a stamp or whatever it is, so that there's a visual aid for the child to see that he has achieved those things every day. Come the end of the week, I may look at that chart and find that he's achieved those things consistently. The best reward that I can have at the end of a reward chart is time with me, is a visit to the zoo or a park or a playground. And you'd be surprised that the more times that I am available to my child and I give my child attention and praise and time, are much more valuable to him or her than the chocolate or the sweet or the toy that I may give. So reward charts can be a great tool to help children learn that the value of them contributing and the value of them being independent doesn't lie in the fact that at the end of it they get a materialistic gift, but they get one of their needs met. The fact that they can actually spend time with me is one of the things that children thrive and grow and love in. Another thing in order to achieve independence is to praise the efforts that my child does along the way. So whenever I find him or her doing something that requires him doing it on his own and for himself, for example, if he's playing independently, or if he's helping a sibling, or if she's feeding herself, then even though I know that those things that he or she is capable of, I need to make sure that I recognize, reward, and show appreciation for them. I need to verbalize what I'm thinking, that this is the behavior that I expect, this is the behavior I love to see, and my child is much more likely to behave in that way time and time again, and work harder towards achieving that independence. It's also important though, in all of that, that I look at my need to help and my need to do things for my child. And sometimes as parents we need to step back, let our children try things and maybe even fail a little so that they learn to grow into independent, healthy people. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time.